Good afternoon, madam. Welcome to Everest Stores. Is there anything I can help you with today?
Oh, hi. Yes, I have a few things I need to buy today. And this is my first time here, so I'm not sure where everything is.
That's fine. That's what I'm here for. Now, what do you need first?
I have to buy a hat for my sister. She's going to a wedding in New Orleans next weekend and asked me to get a new hat for her. Do you sell hats?
Yes, we do, madam. All women's clothing is on this floor, the first floor. If you go in that direction and go past the jackets, you'll find the hats over to the left.
Okay, great. Then I need to get a toaster. Ours caught fire yesterday morning and, my kids can't live without toast in the morning for their breakfast.
Our kitchen appliances are up on the fourth floor. If you take the elevator from this floor up to the fourth floor, turn left when you leave the elevator, and walk through the pictures and framing section, you'll see small kitchen appliances on the left with larger items such as ranges and fridges on the right.
My husband wanted me to see the cost of a new fridge freezer so I can do that too.
Was there anything else, madam?
Yes, my daughter wants a DVD for her birthday. Where can I find them?
Our home entertainment section is on the second floor. Perhaps it would be a good idea to go there before you go and look for the toaster. There's an escalator that joins all the floors, so after you buy your hat, you can go up the escalator to the second floor where you will find books, CDs, DVDs, as well as all our television and video equipment.
The last thing on my list are a CD for myself, which I can get on the second floor, and a chair for the kitchen. My husband broke a chair on the weekend, so I need to get a new one.
Let me think. Yes, you can find all chairs, stools, and tables in our furniture section, but that's right up on the sixth floor. If you go there immediately, you can ask them to take the chair down to the first floor, and you can collect it when you're ready to leave.
Thank you ever so much. You have been very helpful. I will go up to get the chair now and get the other things as I come down.
No problem, madam. We hope you enjoy Everest Stores.
How did the meeting go this morning?
Which meeting?
You know, about the new advertising.
Oh, I wasn't there.
Yes, I know, but Barry wasn't he? What did he say about it?
I'm really not sure, to be honest. I haven't seen Barry since yesterday morning, but he had some real big problems with the new campaign and was going to tell the advertising people about it.
Yes, that's why I wanted to know how it went. Could you tell him to come up and see me as soon as he gets back from the Harper Industries conference?
I'll leave him a message. I have to go now. I'm picking my daughter up from school. Henry, we've had some serious complaints about the windows that were installed yesterday at the home of Hannah Westwood. What do you know about it?
That was Phil and Mike over at the Westwood house yesterday at around 3 p.m. Why? What was the problem? They told me everything went well.
She called us this morning and she said, well, it was her husband, Jim, actually. He said the guys who installed the windows left an awful mess around the back of the house, that the front was fine. But when they went around the back of the house, they found smashed pieces of their old windows and pieces of the old frame scattered around the place. They have 2 expensive pedigree dogs and one of them cut his paw on some glass.
Oh, no, that doesn't sound too good.
No, it doesn't. They want us to pay for the vet bills. Otherwise, they say they're going to take the company to court. I need to speak to, what were their names?
Phil Owen and Mike Gomez.
Yes, them. I need to speak to them to get all the facts before I get in touch with the Westwoods again. They may have forgotten to clean up at the back of the house, but it seems we are going to have to pay out some money anyway.
I'll go and find them now. Jane, have you seen the new design for our website?
Yes, I was just looking at it, in fact. When is it going public?
Oh, and it won't be ready for launch until at least the middle of next week. What did you like about it?
Well, I'm not a web expert or anything, but it just looked nice and clean. The site at the moment, well, it's a bit crowded, isn't it? And I had a look at the shopping cart page. That looks so much better organized. I can't really understand the present system.
I know, it's really confusing, isn't it? With this new design, we're hoping to increase sales and start making much more of a profit from the web side of business. Ted Jackson wants us to be making 1/3 of our profits online within 2 years.
That sounds like a lot. How much do we make now?
Oh, around 7%. But I think with this new site design, plus the advertising we're putting out on local radio, that will double in a matter of months.
Let's hope so. Excuse me, can you just sign here, please?
What's this? We weren't expecting any deliveries.
Let's see. We have some toner for the photocopier, 3 boxes of A4 paper, and some other odd things such as staples and Post-it notes.
Oh, yes, we ran out of paper this morning. It's lucky you came now. I was just closing the office. We're all going to a meeting, so we close at 4 this afternoon. Do I need to pay you now?
Oh no, we will bill you at the end of the month as usual. I just need your signature here. Oh, and another one here.
Great. Thanks a lot.
Oh, can you tell the person in charge of supplies that we won't be open on Thursday and Friday next week? So if you need anything, you'll have to get your order into us by close of business on Wednesday. And we'll be open again on Saturday morning.
No problem. I'll tell Darren. He's the guy who does all of that. Bye now.
Bye. Have a nice day. I can't believe how much they've charged us for that conference in Dusseldorf last month.
Let me have a look. Wow, you're right. How come?
I don't know, but I'm going to find out. They told us the inclusive price would be $2,000. This is 20% more.
You know, that conference was really useful. We made some good contacts and will probably sell 3 or 4 properties because of it.
Yes, I know that, Brian, but it's the principle of the matter. They said we would be charged only $2,000, and then a bill for $2,350 arrives.
Oh, look at this, Jessica. This was the original email they sent us 2 months ago.
Right, let me see. Okay, conference, real estate, Dusseldorf, 19th to the 21st. Yes, look, right there, 2,000. Oh, wait, that's in euros. I don't believe it. They give us the price in euros and bill us in dollars. That's a bit sneaky, don't you think?
What I find most difficult is listening. I have an old video recorder and I use it to record films and other TV programs. Then I watch it later, but I don't watch the film. No, I watch all the adverts that I recorded. Adverts are very good for learning English, I think. They're only short, maybe 30 seconds or a minute, so it's not too long, and they are repeated again and again, so you learn English quickly. The English in adverts is usually simple. They have a simple message.
I love Harry Potter books. They are very interesting. In fact, I bought all of those books in English. They were very difficult for me, so I translated them into my language. It was a lot of work and my friends said I was crazy, but I enjoyed it. At the end of this, I had a huge vocabulary book full of new words and I look at those new words every day. I remember them and I try to use them when I'm speaking or writing in English.
I use a very traditional method to help me improve my English. I write letters. Yes, real letters, with stamps. My friends say that I'm living 20 years ago, and that it's boring. But I like it. I have pen pals in the USA, Canada, and Australia. Every week, I get a letter from one of them, and I write a reply immediately the same day. If I write an email, my computer corrects my spelling and my grammar. It's like cheating. But with a real letter, you must think more, and it's special to write and read a real letter. It's something that takes time and a lot of consideration. I love my letters, and I love my pen pals. It's a very successful method for me.
I love using Skype to learn English. I am a member of a forum called Skype English. You can find other friendly people to talk to. You can choose the country the other person comes from, if it's male or female, the age, other things like that. I have been talking to Japanese and South Korean girls in the last few weeks. I find their accent easy to understand and they talk to me about their beautiful countries. You can also use a webcam if you want, but I don't do that. My house is always very untidy and I don't want anybody to see that.
Good afternoon, Mr. Peters.
Good afternoon.
I'm Melanie Short from our bank's business loan department. I understand you wanted to speak to somebody today about getting a loan for your company.
Yes, that's right.
You had a loan from us last year, didn't you?
Yes, we did.
Excellent. Can you tell me something about your company? What is its name?
Pool Protect.
Okay. And what do you do?
We make swimming pool covers.
Oh, I didn't know such companies exist.
Well, it's very important to cover your swimming pool if you have one and are not using it. You can stop leaves going into it, but it makes your home and your garden a lot safer if you have young children.
Of course, it's very dangerous to have an open pool.
Yes, it is.
And how is your company doing, Mr. Peters? Are you financially strong?
Well, the company started 3 years ago. We have 24 people working for us, and we now have 2 offices. We want to open a 3rd office next year. This is one of the reasons that we want the loan from you.
What about profits? I have all the documents saved in my email, but you can tell me something. Just a summary, please.
We made a small loss in the first year because of manufacturing costs.
That's understandable.
Yes. In our second year, we made a small profit, and we increased this profit by 40% last year.
40% is very good, Mr. Peters. Do you sell only in this country?
We have some international sales, and this is another reason we need extra capital.
Oh?
We need some money to go to international trade fairs, and also to pay for some newspaper and magazine advertising in some selected countries.
Which countries?
The United Kingdom, Ireland, Holland, and Germany. We are very ambitious about the future.
I'm very happy to hear it. You said you have a workforce of 24. Do you think you will take on more people if you increase your international business?
Absolutely. We need new people, international salespeople, interpreters, advertising and marketing people, and so on.
What are your profit forecasts for the current year, Mr. Peters?
We forecast profits about 30 to 40% above last year's.
OK, we can give you an answer for the loan in the next day or 2. We will call you, but I don't think there'll be any problems.
Thank you very much.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Jenny, you're back from the London conference. How was it?
Don't ask.
What happened? Was the weather terrible in England?
Actually, the weather wasn't too bad. It rained a bit on the first day, when I arrived. But after that, it was fine. No, it was everything else that was a disaster.
Oh, that's a shame. You were really looking forward to the conference, too.
I really was. The hotel was the first problem. We asked for a twin room not near the lobby. I went to London with Marcia. Do you know her?
She works in the advertising department.
Yes, that's her. Anyway, she told me she doesn't sleep well in hotels, so I wanted a room in the quiet part of the hotel.
And did you get one?
No, they put us on the 2nd floor, and there was a party. A lot of people were shouting. A band was playing jazz until 2 a.m., and we didn't sleep very well.
Oh, that's terrible. What about the conference?
We got totally lost on the London Underground. We came out of one station and just saw the River Thames, and I knew we were lost. We tried to get a cab, but all the drivers were ignoring us. I was so angry.
So what did you do?
We asked a policeman the way to the conference hall, and while he was talking to us, I saw Martin from our London branch walking past us. I shouted to him, and he recognized us and took us to the conference.
Wow, that was lucky. Martin was the guy who came over last year to speak to us about new markets in Latin America.
Yes, a really nice guy. He helped us a lot in England. So we got to the conference, and the conference center was this great Victorian building. It looked great, but I don't think it was very suitable.
No? What was wrong with it? I saw the brochures before you left, and I thought they looked wonderful.
The Wi-Fi inside the building was terrible. We kept losing our connection. Our table was too far from the front. It was difficult to hear the speakers sometimes.
Maybe the microphones weren't very good.
No, they were terrible. Oh, and the keynote speaker didn't come in the afternoon.
What? That's terrible. They should give a refund for that.
They're going to give a 10% refund. I went to speak to the conference organizer, and there were 20 other people with him. They were complaining about the keynote speaker, and they were asking for their money back. A lot of people were very angry.
Oh, that sounds like a disaster.
That's exactly what it was. But there's more. One of the speakers was talking about unemployment and redundancies. She was a very smart woman from Madrid. But obviously she was speaking in Spanish. For the first 10 minutes of her talk, we were listening with the earphones. And we didn't have the English. We were listening to the French.
French?
Yes. I only recognized it from my high school French classes. Bonjour.
What did you do?
For 5 minutes, nothing. Then I saw everybody was getting angry because they couldn't understand what she was saying. Suddenly, the language changed, and it was Chinese or Japanese or something.
Come on, you're joking with me.
No, honestly. We had 5 minutes of French, a minute of Chinese, maybe it was Japanese, and then the English came on. Everybody started applauding, and the Spanish woman looked very embarrassed.
I'm happy that I stayed here.
After they resolved all the technical problems, it was a good conference. I met some interesting people, made some good contacts for the future. There was a cocktail and cheese party in the evening, so we did a little networking.
So it wasn't a total waste of time?
A total waste of time? No.
Colin, sit down for a minute. I want you to send some emails out today while I'm seeing the representative from Paris. You're not doing much at the moment, are you?
Well, I am, actually. I still have to finish the proposal on the Benson Industries merger.
Oh, I forgot about that. Well, we don't need that until Thursday, so get these mails out for me first, okay?
All right, no problem.
First, of most importance, write to Max over at Catering. He wants to see the invoice we were sent by that Australian company. Attach the invoice. You'll find it in the folder Asia. Tell him the reason it is 10% higher than the expected is that we made a last-minute change and it's perfectly fine. Have you got that?
Okay. Why is that so important?
Well, he sent me a mail this morning saying he wanted to phone the company. He'll cause problems, so get straight on to that. Next, could you just send a quick mail to Donald Bronson, who's flying out to us from Manchester, England? You'll find his address in this year's customers. Tell him the hotel has now been confirmed and will be leaving the information pack behind the reception desk. It's the Three Seasons Hotel, you know, just off Hudson Street. They're expecting him around 8:30.
Right. Next?
That Graham Wilson, what's his name? The website guy.
Winson. Graham Winson. He was in last week chatting to Sarah.
Yes, that's him. Tell him we thought his estimate a little costly and that we are going with someone else. Apologize to him and say we're terribly sorry. You know, blah, blah, blah. It sounded as if he was relying on this contract with us, but to be honest, his designs weren't that great for what we were asking.
Okay, I'll tell him.
Yes, Colin, but I don't want you to actually write that.
No, I understand. I'll be all polite and apologetic.
Make sure you are. Then write back to Food Monthly. You know, the food magazine?
Are we going to go ahead with the advertising deal with them?
No, we've chosen Your Cuisine, and I'll be writing to tell them myself this evening. Just tell them we were highly impressed with their media pack, but budget constraints at this time of year, etc., etc. You know the deal.
Fine, consider it done. Was there another one? You said 5.
Did I? I can't think what the other one was. Oh, yes. Just send an email to La Maison Rouge confirming the dinner party for next Friday. I prefer to put these things in writing, you know. You remember what that Italian restaurant did to us last year when we phoned to book?
We don't have that address on the computer, do we?
No, just have a quick look around on the web and you'll come across it. Look, I really have to go now. I have to be across town in a quarter of an hour. Get those mails done for me, please. I can't be worrying about whether this stuff is getting done.
Hey, I'm on it. Go and enjoy yourself sipping champagne and eating snails all day.
Oh, yeah, if only. See you this evening.
Okay, bye, Margaret.
Now we have another caller, Sheila from Colorado. Thank you for calling Dr. Ibsen's A Problem Shared. What can I help you with today?
Oh, good evening, Dr. Ibsen. I'm so nervous about phoning a radio show like this.
Don't worry, Sheila. Many of our callers are first-time callers.
Well, I feel a little embarrassed because I don't think I have a serious problem. Not like some of the other callers I listen to. I have a happy marriage and 2 wonderful children, but I have a few problems at work and I can't find any solutions.
I think nearly half the calls we receive on this show are about some type of work problem. You must remember that our jobs take up 1/3 of our lives, often more. And if you're not happy at work, then probably you won't be happy in your life. What type of work do you do, Sheila?
I work for a large magazine, and I'm responsible for selling advertising. It's a very competitive business. There's enormous pressure on me. There isn't anyone helping me. Plus, I'm all alone in a small office without any windows. The stress becomes so bad that I'm having problems sleeping enough every night.
That sounds terrible. No windows. How can anybody work like that?
My boss says it helps everybody to concentrate.
Concentrate on going crazy, perhaps. How many people work for the magazine, Sheila?
Oh, about 50.
Do you speak to others about the pressure of work? About not sleeping very well?
No, there's no feeling of team spirit in the company. It's just a collection of individuals. I think that's one of the biggest problems, really.
Yes, many companies don't understand the importance of a good support structure in the workplace. Human resources isn't only about selecting the correct applicant for the job, but also helping and supporting them once they've started working. Do you have any other problems apart from time pressure and the physical office that you have to work in?
There are few chances for us to get help. The magazine started 10 years ago and there were only 6 or 7 of us then. It's grown so big, so fast, that I think it's grown too fast.
And even though there are 50 of you in the office, I think your company still acts and thinks like a startup?
Yes, that's exactly what I said to my husband a few months ago. It's a puppy trying to be a big dog.
Okay. The first thing you need to do is speak honestly with your boss. Your boss is not a monster and would like the magazine to be as successful as possible. Having happy workers is an important part of that.
Of course, she's a wonderful person.
Okay, so go and speak to her. Explain what you've explained to me tonight. Do you feel nervous about doing that?
No, it was actually far more terrifying calling you tonight.
Right, so you've done the hard part. It's probably something your company, your boss, isn't aware of. This need to provide more support for all the employees. It's not enough for people to collect their pay slips at the end of the month. They need to feel supported, feel comfortable, and, yes, feel a little loved.
Thank you, Dr. Ibsen. I really do feel a lot better having spoken about it.
You're welcome, Sheila. Good luck, and let us know what happens.
I will. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Do you know who's going to Brussels for the product launch?
Barry and Susan, I think.
Barry needs to stay here to prepare next year's budget. William told me Charlie would be going.
Oh, now I remember. It's Susan who has to prepare the budget, so it must be Barry he'll accompany. Did you hear we didn't get the Comtel contract?
I don't believe it. What on earth happened?
They told us that the costing of the factory construction was too expensive.
I suppose Harbin Industries won it, did they?
Yes. They were willing to guarantee that the factory would be built in Egypt, and that swung the deal.
Do you have any idea how this works?
Switch it on using the red button. Wait until the green light shows, which means it's hot enough. Then slide the document in, and it comes out the other side.
I need to use a plastic sleeve, don't I?
Yes, put the document inside it. Tomorrow is Monday the 4th, isn't it? That's the deadline for the Spain project. We'll never get it finished in time.
What are you worried about? The deadline isn't until Friday. That's the 8th.
Steve, what are you talking about? Didn't you get the memo changing the deadline? I thought we were going to cancel the project, and instead we have to get it done by tomorrow. There's too much to do still. The sales projection, wages, overheads, and somebody has to write the proposal.
Look, I spoke to Mr. Gonzalez yesterday, and he said it would be fine to wait until the end of the week. We've got nearly a week. Did you go to the meeting about relocating next year?
I did. Some people got a bit hot under the collar.
How come?
Well, the management is presenting this as something that is really exciting, but I'm not sure that everybody sees it that way.
What did you say, Helen?
I said that meetings like that are a huge waste because nothing we say will change anybody's mind. I think we will have to find a new job or move house.
I'm looking for the file we were working on last week. You know, the Woodward contract.
It should be in the folder Germany.
Why do we have a folder called Germany when there's also a folder called Europe? That's the type of confusion which results in lost documents. Are you sure it hasn't been deleted? It's not in the Germany folder.
I don't know what to say. I wasn't the last one to work on it.
Oh, look. It's sitting here on the desktop. Someone must have saved it there by mistake.
With me today on Business Matters is George Jensen, the new CEO of Savannah Software. Welcome to the show, George.
It's great to be here.
How long have you had your feet under the desk at Savannah?
Well, it's been about a month now. A pretty hectic month, I must say.
And how are you finding things?
Savannah is a very strong company. Good financials, buckets of potential for future growth. There's no way I would have even considered coming to Savannah if I wasn't already sold on what a fine company it was.
But you left your previous company and went to Savannah also knowing the company had underperformed in the last few years.
Every company has the potential to perform better. If you didn't believe that, you wouldn't get out of bed in the morning.
So where do you see room for improvement at Savannah? What areas have you earmarked for your attention in these early days of your leadership?
Well, obviously I'm not going to be giving away any trade secrets here on your show, Diana. However great I think your show is, but it's no secret that Savannah has lost its focus somewhat in recent times. We need to get back to basics, which is, of course, high-quality, competitive software for businesses.
Where has this loss of focus been most evident, in your opinion?
I don't think Savannah has any business trying to force itself into the home entertainment market. In time, of course, that might well change, and we can reassess the software landscape at that time. For now, though, Savannah needs to return to its core business.
What is Savannah's core business? What are its flag-bearing software applications? We've seen you branch out into entertainment areas such as gaming and, if I may say so, low-standard educational titles.
Well, perhaps I don't share the severity of your opinion concerning some of our recent publications, but yes, we do have core applications. Text-to-speech and speech-to-text applications for businesses are what put us on the map. And we need to focus our attention back there because we have lost a significant amount of market share. Others have come along and beaten us at our own game. They've made improvements where we should have done so, met customer requirements where we failed. In short, we must return at Savannah to the very pinnacle of business software solutions. We can't be playing catch-up anymore.
What about your prices? One of the biggest criticisms I've heard about Savannah was the disparity between quality and price.
We spend a huge amount on research and development. Our prices do reflect the work that goes into the development of what is a very complex software. If we think we can gain market advantage by dropping our prices, that's of course something worth considering.
I read an interview you gave in Business Weekly a week or so ago. In there you said you wanted to bring Savannah to the world, or rather the non-English speaking world.
I spoke before about looking for areas of potential growth, areas where we have been historically weak, and I think this is certainly one of them. There's no reason why we can't produce our top language recognition software for business people in Paris, Madrid, Munich, or anywhere else for that matter. Savannah has been too inward-looking, too parochial in the past. You know, the first thing I did when I got into my new office in Boston was to put a map of the world on the wall above my desk. That there wasn't one, I think, speaks volumes about some strategic mistakes that this company has made in the past.
What about the mobile revolution? As of this moment, there isn't a single Savannah app available for any mobile device. And I'm thinking that so many of the products that you offer would be perfectly suitable for development as an app. Are there any plans in that direction?
Well, there are now. No, obviously, this is something we've been thinking about for quite some time. Clearly, we should have been more proactive and had something on the market already. But we will do. There will be something by the end of the year. There is a fantastic potential for using our software on mobile devices, phones, iPads, things of that type. Our applications were designed for a fast-moving business world, and their use on handheld devices is a dream come true. We think it's a match made in heaven.
George Jensen, new CEO at Savannah Software, it's been a pleasure talking to you today. We'd love you to come back and talk to us once you've been in the job for another little while longer.
That would be fantastic.
Okay, that was interesting, Claire. Thanks for that report. Now I'd like to turn to what Barry has been doing for the last couple of weeks. Barry?
Thank you, Sophie. Now, as you may remember, our group was asked to carry out a comprehensive survey about American vacation habits, especially pertaining to Europe.
Could you tell us all something about how these results were obtained first, Barry, before we move on to the real bones of the results?
Yes, of course. We've been running ads on travel and tourism websites over the last couple of weeks, and anyone who completes the survey had their email address put into a draw and I can't remember what the prizes were, but you know, the usual sort of thing. MP3 players, mountain bikes. I think the top prize was a Vespa scooter. Pretty good, really.
Remind me to ask Stephanie. She was responsible for the prizes. I would have liked that Vespa for myself.
Now, we had a total of 11,500 responses, so the reaction was pretty good, I'm sure you'll agree. We were also running ads for our European guidebooks alongside the surveys and sending another targeted ad to each of the email addresses. I was speaking to sales this morning, and they calculate we've had something in the region of 600 extra book sales through this promotion, so that just about covers the cost of the prizes anyway.
That's really good work, Barry. You've done a fine job with that survey. Now, to the results.
I just want to say a few words first about why we were doing the survey. Is that okay?
But of course, yes, we should hear about that first.
We are totally revising all our European city guide category of guidebooks for next season, so we wanted to know why people were heading for Europe, what they wanted to do once they were there, and what would persuade them to go back. Particularly relevant to ourselves were questions about what they used guidebooks for and how important recommendations about where to go were in their minds. Oh, and what financial category of tourist they saw themselves as. You know, budget traveler, biz exec type, and so on.
So we had over 11,000 responses in all?
Yes, and I just wanted to outline a few of the main findings of the survey. We first asked people to say how often they went on vacation, and 88% said they tried to at least once a year, with 27% saying twice a year. We asked how many would be interested in taking a city break in Europe, which of course is the focus of our new range of guidebooks.
Europe is still very popular, isn't it?
Well, it would seem so, as more than 2/3 said they would enjoy the chance of going on a city break there. Paris came out on top, followed by London, Rome, and Berlin. That coincides precisely with the order in which our guidebooks on those cities will be released next spring.
That is good to know. Now, what about the reasons people are coming to Europe and how we can use this information?
Well, we asked all our respondents who had been to Europe why they had chosen to go there over another destination, and the main reasons were as follows, in this order: culture, historical places, family connections, language considerations, that's for going to Britain or Ireland, obviously, and finally because other members of their family wanted to come. I think the primary reasons given are more important for a guidebook publisher like ourselves. I think we need to focus more on the cultural and historical aspects in our European City Guide collection of guidebooks, and I think we need to make that especially clear in our advertising campaigns for these books. In that way, we can both persuade people to go to Europe for the cultural aspects and also to buy our books at the same time.
You said before that you had asked the people taking this survey to classify themselves. What was the thinking behind that, Barry?
Well, we like to ask people how they see themselves, as it tells us something about how likely they are to buy and use one of our guidebooks. People who see themselves as travelers before tourists, which was some 64% in our survey, are more likely to purchase one of our city guides.
In order to find out all the interesting things there are for them to visit in the role as travelers.
Exactly. Now, another very important targeted question we asked concerned what our vacationers did in preparation for their big trip. How many of them would consider buying one of our guidebooks, for example? We ended up with a long list of what people do to prepare for a vacation abroad. Watching TV programs about their destination was the most popular at 37% of respondents. 29% would visit websites to find out more, and then 22% would buy or consider buying a guidebook, which is where we come in, of course. Then there were some other answers given, such as asking friends for recommendations, visiting their public library to do some research, and getting information from the travel section of the newspapers.
Barry, were there any results from this survey that you would say were surprising or unexpected?
Well, one of our final questions gave us a few surprises, to be honest. We asked how reliable people thought different sources of information were, whether they believed everything they heard or read on TV, websites, and in guidebooks like ours.
And I presume that they would trust our books more, wouldn't they?
We thought that too, which is why we were so surprised when both travel websites and TV programs came out ahead of us. It seems people trust the information in our guidebooks a little less as they consider the information to be possibly out of date, whereas websites and the TV are supposed to give totally up-to-date information. It's something I think we need to tackle in our next advertising campaign.
Well, we certainly have plenty to think about. I can see the European City Division is going to be busy for the next few months. Now, I want to move on to the latest sales figures for our Asia department. Now, you'll all remember how last year was.
Hi, Susan.
Is that you, Ben?
Yes, I'm sorry to call you at work.
That's okay. Is there a problem at home?
There are 3 problems.
Oh, I hope it's nothing serious.
No, don't worry. Just little problems.
Okay. What's the first one?
I don't know how to use the oven.
You mean you can't cook?
No, I can cook, but I can't put the oven on. How does it work? My oven at home is electric. Your one is gas.
Okay, I understand. Light a match first.
Where are the matches?
On top of the fridge.
Ah, okay.
Then, Push in the orange knob, the one with a big letter O in the center.
Then what?
Keep the orange knob pressed, put the match in the oven, and it will start.
Okay, then I release the orange knob.
No, wait for about 5 seconds, then you can release it.
Thanks. Now, the next problem is the DVD player. There's a DVD inside it, but it doesn't open.
Okay, that happens sometimes. Push the eject button.
I did that.
Yes, but keep it pushed for a few seconds. That sometimes works.
And if not?
Read the manual. It's in the little cabinet under the TV.
Thanks.
What's next?
Sorry.
You said 3 problems.
Oh, yes. The cat's in the garden, and it's raining, and the cat is crying.
Open a can of cat food. Go to the door and show Timmy the cat. He will come in. He always does.
Okay. Thanks, Susan, for everything. See you tonight.
See you later.
Hey, Diana. How's your new job going?
Great. I love driving those tourists around. It's one of the best jobs I've ever had.
Where did you take them today? Were you on the bus again?
Yeah, we had them on the bus, and we took them to the canyon.
Wow, that must have been great. Did you have many people with you today?
There were a few empty spaces, so the bus wasn't full.
Why was that?
I think a few people didn't feel too great today and decided to stay at the hotel. We did too many things yesterday, and a lot of people were feeling tired in the morning when we picked them up from the hotel.
Were you the only guide on the tourist group today?
No, Mark was there, and he helped me a lot. When he's not there, I have too much to do, so I really appreciate it when I'm not alone.
Did you have time for lunch?
We didn't have any time for lunch at all. The tourists had something to eat in the cafe near the canyon entrance, but we had to organize the rest of the day with the staff of the park. We had a few minutes just to grab a sandwich later on.
Well, that doesn't seem very fair. You guys work too hard.
Oh, they pay us well, and the job's enjoyable, so we can't complain.
What time did you get back to the hotel? You look exhausted.
We got back at 5, and then we had a little time with the leader of the tourist group discussing tomorrow's itinerary.
Where are you going tomorrow?
Oh, it's a much easier day tomorrow. We're taking them to the City Museum in the morning, and then to the aquarium after lunch. I don't think there will be too many problems.
I didn't even know there was an aquarium in the city.
Maybe you should join us tomorrow.
Well, have a nice day, and say hi to all the fish for me.
Ah, good morning. Pia Marcotti, isn't it?
Yes, good morning.
I'm John Reeves. I manage the sales department here at Roscoe International. You can call me John.
Okay, John.
Have you already been shown around the company?
Yes, I got here at 9 a.m. and Susie gave me a tour of the place.
And what did you think?
It's a lot bigger than I thought it would be.
Yes, a lot of people say that. Now we have over 50 people working for us here. Did you bring your CV?
I sent it by email last week.
Oh, yes, of course. I was reading it only yesterday. Now, where is it? Ah, here it is. Here we are. Pia Marcotti, 26 years old, born in Rome. Okay, let's see. Where did you hear about Roscoe International?
My brother worked for you a couple of years ago and has always spoken well of you.
Luigi Marcotti? Yes, I remember him. How long did he work here for?
I think it was about 10 months. Now he's living in the UK. He's been working for a magazine in London for around a year.
You'll say hi to him for me, won't you?
Okay, sure.
Now, tell me something about your work experience, Pia.
Well, I worked in the offices of my mother's company when I left university.
And what sort of company does your mother run?
It's caterers. She does the catering for weddings, graduations, funerals, that type of thing.
And how long did you work there for?
About a year or so. They put me on the phones, and I was also responsible for all the advertising and our leaflets, business cards, and the website.
So you didn't do any cooking?
No, they kept me a long way from the kitchen.
So what did you do after that?
Well, I traveled for a little while, mostly in Europe and a little in South America.
How long did you go traveling for?
Oh, it wasn't too long. Maybe about 6 months. I had a job that was going to start at the end of the year, so I had about 6 months free, so I thought, why not?
Did you have any problems with the languages where you went?
Not really. I speak Italian and Spanish quite well.
How long have you been studying those languages?
Well, my father is Italian, so I am fluent in Italian. I have studied Spanish for about 7 years, so I can get by pretty well in that too.
Actually, we do have a lot of business with Sicily, so your Italian could be really important.
I would really like the chance to use my Italian for work.
What did you do when you came back from your travels?
Well, as I said before, I already had another job lined up, and that was in a small shoe company just outside town.
Bradley Footwear it's called, isn't it?
Bradford Footwear.
Ah, yes. Here it is. It says here you worked in their sales department. How long did you do that for?
I was there for 3 years, and I worked in the sales department for 2 of those 3 years.
Did you enjoy the work?
Well, it was fun at the beginning, but it's not a very large company, and they only have a few customers in the region, so it got pretty repetitive after a while. That's why working for an international company like yourselves would really interest me.
Okay, let's go and get a cup of coffee, and we can continue this conversation afterwards.
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Yes, I have a single room booked for tonight and tomorrow night. The name's Henderson.
Henderson. Oh, yes, here you are. You are in room 344. That's on the beach side, so you should have a nice sea view.
Oh, that's nice. I have a lot of work to do, but I'll have time to enjoy the view, I'm sure.
Here is your key card. You know how to use it, don't you?
Oh, yes. Do I have to give it back to you on Tuesday morning?
No, that's not necessary. It will only work until Tuesday noon, which is our checking out time anyway. You can keep it after that. You can see it's got a handy little calendar on the other side, so you might find that useful.
Hey, I've never seen that before. That's a neat little idea.
Now I just need to run through some of our regulations with you. You may also find them on the back of your door in your room, but we need to tell our guests some of the most important information.
Okay, no problems.
Now I've already told you about the key card. Let's see. The fire exit is at the north end of the corridor, so that is to the right as you come out of your room 344. Follow the green signs on the corridor walls. The restaurant you can see behind you. That's open from 7 in the morning until midnight.
How do I get an external line from my room?
Oh, good question. You'll find all the information you need on a plastic card next to the phone. Just dial 1 to speak to the hotel switchboard, or 1 followed by a room number to ring another room directly. If you ring 9 and wait for a dial tone, that puts you onto an external line.
Okay. Is there anything else?
As I said before, checkout time is midday. If you have any complaints, please come directly to me, Jennifer, or to my husband, Gary. We hope you have a great stay here at the Strands. Do you need some help with your bags, Mr. Henderson?
No, it's fine. Just this small briefcase. Thanks very much for your help.
Bye for now. Have a nice evening.
Hi, Chris. You look tired.
Hi, Janice. I had a terrible day at work. Just awful.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you still having problems with your new office?
When I got to the office this morning, it was like a battlefield. I hate working there. Maybe I should just start looking for a new job.
What happened this morning?
Well, for a start, Karen was crying. She was saying nobody appreciated her.
Oh, poor thing. Who's Karen?
She's a secretary, but she does a lot of other things. She always helps everyone. She was sitting at her desk, looking very sad, and crying a little bit. She said the boss said mean things to her, and the boss was so angry too.
With Karen?
No, he was in his office and the door was closed. but everyone could hear him. He was screaming at a customer on the phone.
That's not very professional.
He's not very professional. So this was all happening when I arrived at 9:30. A lot of noise too, because there were workmen up on the next floor, so they were hammering and banging and drilling.
Wow, that sounds a crazy office.
I didn't tell you the worst thing.
There's something worse than all the crying, shouting, and hammering?
Yes, there was a dog in the office and it was barking.
A barking dog? Now I know you're joking with me.
I'm not. Andrew from the sales department took his dog to work today. It's a little black poodle called Betsy. He put her in a bag and didn't tell anyone. He told us later that the dog is depressed and that he didn't want to leave her at home alone. So he took her to work. That's completely normal, isn't it?
A depressed dog hidden in a bag in an office with crying secretaries, screaming bosses, and the whole room full of drilling and hammering? Do you work for a circus?
Oh, I wish.
This is such a chaotic office. I don't know how anyone gets any work done. The worst part is the large table in the centre of the room. There's so many things on it. I can see files and books and letters. If you want to find something in this office, it will take you so long. There is a TV in the office, but nobody is watching it. It is probably a distraction. I think the problem with this office is that it's so small. The company that works here needs a larger building. You can't work where there is such confusion and mess. I love the computer though. 3 big screens makes it so easy to work and see different things. You can use the internet on one screen, email on the second one, and maybe do work on the third. I would really like a computer with 3 screens. There is a strange lizard on the wall. Maybe it's a frog?
This looks like a very elegant office. I imagine it could be the office of a bank manager or a company president. It would be a perfect office for such a person. There's a large desk made of expensive wood and it's very organized. There isn't so much stuff on it. It makes everything easy to find because you don't waste such a lot of time looking for letters or documents. Perhaps this is the office at 8 o'clock in the morning, before the person arrives. Maybe if you take a photo at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, it's very different. Something I don't like is the floor. It looks like there's a big cream carpet on the floor. They get so dirty so quickly. They are very difficult to clean. One last thing. There's very good light in this room, which is important if you're reading or writing a lot. There are 2 big lamps on the desk.
I think this photo was taken a long time ago, possibly in the 1960s or 1970s. I know it was taken so long ago because of the clothes the people are wearing and also because the office looks so old-fashioned. Everything in the office is so simple. There's no modern technology, no computers or fax machines or photocopiers or anything. Such offices don't really exist now, do they? The office where I work is very different. It's more like a home and less like a workplace. Actually, I think I can see one phone in this office. It's black and looks like the old phones without buttons. It would be in a museum today. There are photos of ships on the wall. Perhaps this is a company that owns big ships. And the floor is so shiny. If you walk on that floor with new shoes, you can fall over. It would be like walking on ice. I don't like the office. It's such a boring place.
Okay, this is the last house that we will see today. There's another one on this street that I can show you tomorrow. Well, what do you think?
It's big. What do you think, Susan?
Yes, it's much bigger than I expected. It doesn't look so large from the outside.
Now this is obviously the lounge. You have a lot of space in here. You can divide the room using the sofa and have a quieter area just here, maybe with a desk, away from the TV.
I love these wooden floors. We have carpet in our house, and it's more difficult to keep clean. Isn't it, Daniel?
Yes, this type of floor is more convenient.
Okay. Through here we have the kitchen.
Oh, look at the color of it.
It's very pink, isn't it?
The last kitchen we saw, that was more elegant, more beautiful. Don't you agree, Daniel?
We can change it.
Of course you can. Don't worry about the colours of the walls. You can change the colour in a weekend.
Yes, that's true. This kitchen is definitely bigger than ours. It's the biggest we've seen today.
And look at that garden.
It's narrower than our current garden, but it's much longer, and the trees are beautiful.
That garden will be really special in the summer. That's the best garden we've seen today.
I don't know. I loved the garden in the first house. It was smaller, but it was very pretty, all those flowers.
Yes, it was pretty.
As you can see, there is plenty of space in the kitchen for a table, so you can eat here. Many families find it more relaxing to eat in a separate dining area, and you also have that over there. Now, let's go upstairs. This house has 3 large bedrooms and a 4th bedroom that you can use as a guest bedroom or maybe a study. Would you like to have a study?
Daniel loves the idea of a study, don't you?
I have a tiny study at home, but it's not easy to concentrate there. Our neighborhood is noisier than this one. There's a large road near the house. It would be quieter here.
There is a large family bathroom, and 2 of the bedrooms have ensuite bathrooms too.
Oh, that's much better. No more waiting 20 minutes for our son to stop looking at himself in the mirror.
Now this house is a little more expensive than your budget. About $10,000 more. What do you think? Susan?
I love it. It's cheaper than the last house we saw, and I like this one more.
So do I. I think we can make an offer.
That's great news. Let's go to the office straight away.
Right. Here are the computers. We have to buy one, and we have to buy one today.
Yes, you're right. I just don't understand anything about computers.
Well, it's okay. We can decide together. First of all, we need to decide between a laptop and a desktop.
I'm already confused. Can't we just get one like the one we have at the moment?
That's a desktop computer. I think it's too big. The monitor and the speakers take up a lot of space, and if we want to use it in the lounge, we have to move the desk.
Oh, so you're thinking of buying one of these laptop computers, are you? They look really neat, very compact. I bet they aren't as powerful as our old desktop computer, though.
Stephen, this isn't the 1990s. Look here. This one is twice as powerful as our desktop computer. Look, it has 80 gigabytes on the hard drive. Our desktop only has 30. We bought it 5 years ago.
I have to tell you right now, when you start talking about numbers, gigabytes, ROMs, and megahertz, I get a headache. No, I mean it.
Oh, please. Come on, we have to make a decision. My uncle gave me that money more than a month ago, and if he comes to the house tonight and we don't have a computer, he will be offended.
Right. We need to think about what we need. Now let's see. Do we need to make CDs and DVDs?
Yes, that would be useful. We don't need a printer or a scanner as we already have both.
Fine. Look at those 2 there with extra wide screens.
No, that would be a waste of money. We won't be using it to watch movies.
This one looks fine then. $1,400. It has a CD and a DVD burner, 60 gigabyte hard drive, 5 USB ports. What are they?
Well, that lets you use things like a mouse, a printer, or a scanner. That seems a good choice. Look, it comes with a free webcam.
Why do we want one of those? I don't even like it when people take my photo.
Let's go and find someone to help us. Look, there's someone.